G'day fellas and welcome to a casted game. Spawning in on the north side of the map in the colour purple, playing as the Holy Roman Empire. It's Corp. And on the south side of the map in the colour blue, playing as the English, we've got Vortex. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Highview. It's great to see Highview entering back into the map pool. Now this is a map that I never was a big fan of, but you don't know what you've got till it's gone. We went through some interesting times with our map pools, but to be honest, I actually feel like the map pool at the moment is in a pretty good state. There's a lot of good maps in there. Obviously, Dry Arabia, Mountain Clearing, another great map. I love Mountain Clearing. How did that one get through? To be honest, they've made Mountain Clearing actually pretty good. I do like the way that Mountain Clearing plays. I played a fun game on Mountain Clearing the other day, but let's just put it this way. China's pretty good on Mountain Clearing, you know, if anyone ever enjoys a barbecue. Anyway, let's talk a little bit about this map, about this matchup, about what we've got in front of us today, because we have got a map that is notoriously good for the Rus, and yet a distinct absence of the Rus here. Obviously, Corp going to be playing with the HRE. He's going to be looking to pick up relics early on. I would suspect that both players are going to be opting for a fast castle, and I'm going to be curious to see exactly what Vortex gets up to, how he looks to play this matchup, because this is a matchup that I have a little bit of difficulty with. I'm still not 100% sure how to play it, and I think that might be largely because I'm a bit of a greedy player. So I love to play English, as you guys would have seen, 3TC style. I'm a big fan of going for 3 TCs, whether that's 2 TC in a fast castle, then add the third TC after you age up, or whether that's just go 3 TC raw dog and a 3 TC into a fast castle. And obviously Holy Roman Empire, they're all about like pace. It's about getting up as quick as you can, about getting those relics, get a couple knights out and look for an Imperial Age. And I think that's going to be the big question here. It's going to be, what does Vortex throw at Calp just to make him not want to age up to Imperial? Because that's what it's all about, at least for me. You know, maybe Corp plays this a little bit different. And I apologize if I call him Corp or Cap. I actually just reached out to him. I sent him a DM. I said, hey, bro, I need to know. How do I pronounce your name? I'm casting a lot of your games, and it's important that I'm saying the right name, which, by the way, for anybody wanting to check him out, I'll leave a link in the description where you can watch his Twitch. Now, speaking of Twitch, you can also catch Vortex over on Twitch. He's just started streaming over on Twitch. Now, he's had a Twitch for quite a while, but he doesn't actually stream, but he has recently been streaming games as recently as a day ago, so go check him out as well. I will make sure I leave a link in the description to that. And speaking of links in the description, if you want to check out the Patreon, if you want to improve, if you want to see some replay reviews or get some private coaching, plenty of exclusive content over on the Patreon. So now that our plugs are all out of the way, let's talk a little bit about what's going on, because we've got the Council Hall up against the Archon Chapel. Now, if we're going to rate this Archon Chapel, I tell you what, we're going to be rating this pretty darn highly. You get the wood line, and this is a max wood line as well. This is where you get to use the Archon Chapel as the lumber camp. You get the gold vein, and on top of that, you get the berries as well, and of course, you hit the town center. Now, where's the deer pack? Okay, so the deer's to the front. You know, if the deer had spawned over here, and he could have potentially pushed them into a mill, oh my god, that's the 10 out of 10. But this one's a solid. You know what? I'm tempted to call this a 10 out of 10 as well. 10s out of 10s when it comes to these Archon Chapels. They're quite. Well, let's just put it this way. They're not few and far between. Anyway, over on the other side of the map, as the age up is coming through, we'll check in with Vortex, as it looks like he's quite heavy on wood at this point in the game. So my suspicion is that he could be looking to play a little bit of an aggressive feudal opening here. Interestingly, we don't see any barracks coming up just yet, despite the high number of villages he's got on food. So I'm just expecting to see some longbows out. Let's ride on board over on the other side, though, because Kalpas are aged up now, and a little bit of a cheeky back house. I don't know what all of this is about. What's the deal with putting the houses on the back? I guess he just wants to. I've got no idea. What is that all about? Is he just trying to save space? You know, that can be one of the things that's really important on certain maps. Like if you're playing on Mountain Clearing, if you're playing on Altai, it becomes really important to construct your base. Well, if I remember correctly, Cap's actually a really good base builder. So maybe he's just done the math and he's like, you know what? It's actually just worth for me to come out here. He's playing a little bit of Sim City, but I got to respect it. I got to respect a man who plays some Sim City, but take a look at this. Vortex on the move. Early longbows coming out here. No sign of stone being taken just yet. He's got plenty of vills on wood, though, and he's just producing longbows out the wazoo. Any +1s coming in just yet? Doesn't look like it. So he's very aggressive out of the box and just looking to get those longbow numbers built up. Now, Cap's got a couple of ways that he can look to play it. Obviously, he can play it in the feudal age, go into horsemen. He can go into men-at-arms. But ideally, his goal is to get to castle age. He wants to try and get up there, and we do see the barracks is coming down. So Vortex does a great job of spotting that one out. And now Makes his way around towards that gold vein. Do we see an outpost coming up yet? It doesn't look like it. No outpost coming up. And you've got to be so careful. Even if you opt for an outpost in this situation, it's like you throw an outpost here, then the longbows just go over there, right? Like, it's one of those things where unless you entirely wall this off, and the problem is you can't. Like, you got to wall off out here, and it's just so far away. Vortex is such a good player. He's going to get the scout in to block you before you finish the wall off. There's just so many variables, and it makes it very hard to control. So I think Cap does the right thing here. He moves into the men-at-arms, and I'm questioning whether we see a second town center out of him. Sorry, not second town center, a second barracks out of him, because I think that's probably the response that he's going to be looking for. Let's have a look and see. It is a second barracks. So typically the response, yeah, that you do see to this English opening is the men-at-arms, because you want to try and clear this out as quickly as possible. But look at what we've already got coming down from Vortex. Walls in the middle of the map, so he's really looking to secure early strength against this Holy Roman Empire player, and at the same time behind this, he is thinking about a second town center. And I gotta give him a clap for this, because he's playing this immaculately so far. I'm loving the aggression that's coming out. But interesting from Cap's perspective that I don't know exactly what he was up to, but obviously didn't really spot out the longbowman until it was a little bit too late. Sometimes I'll play against a certain Holy Roman Empire player, and they might open with like a stable or something like that, and just, you know, 1 or 2 horsemen, just in case you open with longbows. But obviously Cap just looking to play it a little bit naked, a little bit nude. Now going to be adding in a lumber camp onto his wood line. And look at this. Vortex has evacuated the dance floor. The longbowmen are out. He's forced enough of a response already that he says, well, I've forced enough of a response. I bought myself enough time. He was making walls in the middle, but he's decided against it. Okay, second town center coming up. Oh my god, this is a town center. The trouble with this town center is that you just don't have line of sight anywhere. But having the boar next to the TC is just chef's kiss. So much food right here. I'm hoping he's picked up his survival techniques. If he hasn't already, it's probably because he doesn't have a mill, and indeed he doesn't have a mill. I'm very curious why he didn't build this wall though, because you know why? He probably realized that the men-at-arms would come down and just siege it down before he even got the chance. Maybe it's a better idea that he goes out to the edges of the map. But this is very interesting, right? Like, Vortex is kind of metagaming himself at the same time. He's like, well, is he going to check the other ones? He's going to check the other ones. Look, his attack moved over to here. He thinks that, was this all a big brain play from Vortex? Maybe that was it. Scout comes around, sees that there's nothing. But I guess that makes sense, right? Because you forced the enemy to make all these men-at-arms. Now look at Corp. Now Corp's just like, now I'm committed to H2. I'm playing H2. You're done. You're done, kid. Now, keep in mind there's a second TC here, but obviously the town center not going to be doing that much work against the men-at-arms. Just keep in mind that the extra arrows that it fires only do 6 damage, and with +1 about to come through, full armor on these men-at-arms is going to mean that those arrows are only doing 2 damage apiece. And look at this, just very, very cheeky. Plenty of vills going down. He actually manages to take out 1, 2, 3, 4 villagers here. Really, really nice play from Vortex. Now, how many longbows has he got? He's got 7 longbows times the 6 damage. So you're talking 42 damage here. Not quite enough to kill a villager. You'd need 2 more to one-shot the vills. But still does a lot of damage. And you can see that Cap is now happy to collect those berries, but falls behind quite a bit. And now, as a result, the men-at-arms get forced back. So really smart use of the longbowman here by Vortex just to buy himself a little bit of time. Now, is he going... It looks like he might be going castle. Castle here is going to be very, very strong for him, and we can see him heading into a mill now as well. Now, obviously, he's got plenty of food out here. He's got the boar. He could actually use the boar to defend himself, which is a little bit weird, but think about it like this, right? You get attacked by the men-at-arms, you trigger the boar, jump in your town center, and the boar is just going to... Oh my god, is he going to use the boar to defend the town center? This could actually be... Oh my... Oh god, please use the boar to defend yourself. Oh my god, could you imagine? How... What would that even be? I mean, the men-at-arms could take the boar down, but still, there's so much potential right there. So much potential. Men-at-arms still cleaning up these longbows. Look at the longbows just smacking out. Plenty of damage there. Now that +1 ranged armor is in these longbows, going to be doing a little bit less damage, but +1 ranged attack is on the way through. Scout going to go down. Town center looking to pop a couple of these men-at-arms in, but I'm curious whether Corp's actually spotted out that second town center. My suspicion is that he has, but he's just gone to dive the main instead. Now manages to find vills on the wood line. Looks like it's going to have to be a bit of a runaway here. You can see the Scout looking to try and lead some of those men-at-arms away. Looks like the villager numbers are still looking pretty healthy here for Vortex. still managing to evacuate. And the last longbow does go down. More men-at-arms going to be looking to join the fray. And indeed, those men-at-arms continue diving through the town center, but obviously that +1 coming through also helps out with the town center, so now they're able to do, I think it's 3 damage an arrow here. So those men-at-arms get absolutely cleaned up. Not a single villager loss. Perfectly played by Vortex, and he's doing very well. Please get the boar. Oh, can you please do a boar defense? I'm just begging for it right now. It sucks that we didn't see the men-at-arms move towards that position, but that could have been something amazing. Castlage coming through, though, for Kaup. He's managed to find himself a window to get up. How many prelates has he got? He's got 3 prelates out already. He's under attack on 1, but he's on the move, and that's exactly what we want to see. Early on, you want to get these prelates out before the age up comes through. There's the second one, so he's going to look to pick up 2 out of the 5 relics here. Really, really nice. We don't see him moving down towards his south side just yet. Let's have a look from Vortex's perspective. This town center provides no line of sight whatsoever, so you could potentially sneak this relic down. Where is she? There she is. There she blows. And now the men-at-arms looking to try and take out the scout. Not going to have much luck there. And I suspect he could be looking for the Regnets. Age up comes through. Immediately those relics are going to get picked up. Now Vortex hasn't even spotted out their location. He's got... He does have a bit of a clue. He's got a bit of a clue. But not 100%. And we do see those the longbow numbers starting to increase right now. So I'm curious whether Vortex here goes into spears or whether he goes castle. It kind of looks like he's thinking more about the latter. Just from the resources that he's got, you can see he's sitting on about 600 food a minute, so it might take him about a minute or so to age up, and no further units in queue. But there's a bit of a window here for Kaup to go into knights and just absolutely crush this. Whether he does that, though, is going to be a different story. So, 2 relics on the way through. No, scrap that, I take it back. 3 relics on the way through, and he just goes into men-at-arms. Or at least, I should say, into more barracks here. So 3 so far of these relics coming in, and that, in my mind, that's a big victory for Kaup. But keep in mind, Vortex has been scaling, and he's had this second town center going for quite a while now, looking to try and secure up the wall. Vortex continues moving through. Oh, look at this. This timing could be really good for Kaup. If he's able to get that last segment of wall up, you can see Vortex is trying to cut through here. And there's the last segment of the wall. They're coming through, but the Vils, unfortunately, going to get smacked in the face by a whole bunch of archers. And, of course, that last segment is open. He can come through if he wants. It's almost like an invitation. It's like, do you dare come through here? And we see 3 relics picked up now. 2 remaining on the map. First one has got a wall on it. Second one is very far away. And now you can see that Vortex has got line of sight here. King's Palace going to be the choice for Vortex. So going to be playing a 3 TC style here up against the Holy Roman Empire, which definitely gives him a bit of a buffer if a Palace of Swabia was to come out. Now, keep that in mind, that when the Swabia comes out, that's the equivalent of 3 town centers. And typically, you only see people producing from the Swabia once they've got it. But we'll talk a little bit more about that later as the extra damage coming out from those swords. No, not just yet. Still yet to come through. He cancels. He cancels the landmark and goes for the White Tower. He could be a little bit scared right now of a men-at-arm timing. Very, very interesting. So he's decided... instead of going for the King's Palace, I'm going to go for the supreme landmark, the White Tower, and it might actually be the correct call. Look at this play. There's a lot of men-at-arms that are making their way across the map. Now, keep in mind, he doesn't have the Burgrave, but he's got 4 barracks, which is almost as good. Now, across that map, we can see, where is this prelate going? He's going for the sacred site, so he's just looking to secure sacred sites. Yet to pick up that 4th relic in the middle of the map yet. I'm sure he's got a prelate on the way. No, he's just still looking to pick up sacred sites, so he could pick up a triple right here. And still these longbowmen. I'm absolutely in love with the control from Vortex, utilizing the stealth forests here incredibly well. Going to spot out a prelate. Good night, sweet prince. It was a pleasure knowing you. No soup for you. And now these men-at-arms. It almost seems like Kaup is a little bit unsure exactly where he wants to go, what he wants to do, and we see triple stable together with the White Tower. No production coming out of the White Tower just yet, but he's got all the men-at-arms now looking to run in underneath the wood line. Not even going to find it. And Kaup just going to look to try and siege this down with men-at-arms. A little bit of a bold strategy, if I do say so. Longbowman coming through. He's just picking off fills at this point. 11 villagers down so far throughout this game, but the 4th of the relics gets picked up. And the men-at-arms now going to start diving in underneath the town center. Knights out. Should look to clean this up. Keep in mind, the Holy Roman Empire can look to get those upgrades in. A little bit more extra damage from 2-handed weapons together with the heavy maces. But unfortunately, they get completely cleaned up, and Vortex's position starting to look really good. He's up to 69 villagers here, scaling into the late game with the 2 TC, and it almost, with this many villagers on stone, I'm starting to think, is he going to go for a forward keep or something? He's already got his defensive keep in, a beautiful White Tower here, which is already done very well for him. But now he continues moving forward. Sacred sites have been picked up, and we've got relics, or at least we've got a prelate who is trying his best to come in and pick up this one. But he's going to do a bit of a drive-by. Just going to say hey to everybody. Hey guys, don't mind me. I'm just a small little prelate on a mission, a religious mission. Please don't hurt me. I come in peace. I come in pieces. It was a sad story. It was a quick story, but it was a story nonetheless. Anyway, we move forward. Let's ride on board with Kalp now, as he's in a bit of a tough spot, right? Because he wants to go imp, but at the same time, if he does, he's probably going to die. Now, we could look for him to do a defense. Actually, that's a good call. He could look to do a defense the same way that that Core was defending the other day. Not Corp, Core. Core was defending, and that was going imp and then making sure you get your cannon emplacement on your tower. So that's one way that you can defend, but noticing you're up against all of these knights, it's going to be difficult. Knight crossbow, the perfect counter. Both of these units are incredibly effective against men-at-arms, so it makes you less inclined to go into those units. I feel like in this position, Kalp can go into mass spears. Mass spears are surprisingly effective against, like, everything. It's kind of wild. I've been seeing in a lot of games people just massing up spears non-stop, and even up against like full archers, because you can just pull a mango or two out. And we're talking like 60, 70 spears. It's crazy watching those things go. But Knights now coming in. Kalp looking to try and defend against it. The Prelate also going to be here. Men at Arms just going down very, very quickly. Springald emplacement on the way. This is definitely going to help hold this attack. But keep in mind behind this, Kalp's lost so many villages. He's lost 14 villages, only on 34. Vortex almost up 50 vills, and there's the forward keep that we were theorizing. Still able to take out all of these units. The Springald emplacement comes through. Going to be able to take out the scout and also loses the knight. And, geez, I tell you what, that outpost is getting its worth in. Springald emplacement does have that extended range because of the relics on extra 25% range. No, an extra 20% weapon range. So, is it picking off the villagers? I swear I saw a villager. I'm pretty sure this villager just died to that Springald emplacement. That's kind of wild. All right, now he can emergency repair that back up. Knights moving around. Just incredible control coming out from Vortex here. It is truly a clinic that he's putting on, a masterclass, if you will. Could look for a third TC here. Has moved on to, I was going to say greener pastures, but stone is neither green nor a pasture. Where are those vills on stone? He's got 240 stone a minute coming through. Oh, they're right here. Just the 6 of them. That makes sense. That makes sense. All right, so from this position, I'm assuming he's just going to use the keep to be making trebuchets, and he'll look to trebuchet down the outposts here. The problem that he's got is that Imperial is still possible. We do see that there's going to be a counterweight trebuchet coming out from Kalp here. And it's such a hard spot for him because he's managed to pick up 4 relics through this game, but he's just lost so many villages. And the other thing... Oh, that's terrible. Oh, it's the worst timing possible. That right there is the kind of stuff that just makes you want to throw away the game. It's like, I've got this one tool that I'm going to use to get myself back into this game, and it just dies instantly when a couple of knights just happen to roam past. Like, it's heartbreaking. It's heartbreaking. Gonna need emergency repairs on this outpost ASAP. Keep in mind, there's a 90% chance these attacks will hit with the counterweight trebuchet. 10% chance that they will miss, or at least it's roughly about that. I think it's 89%, something like that. And now coming in for a second round. Emergency repair. That one was a miss. That one was a miss. And he fell for the emergency repairs. He could have waited one more time. I'm not sure if you guys saw, but it did not actually come through. And look at this. No wood lines. Oh, this is terrible for Kalp. No wood lines. Next wood line's down here. He's got another one down to the south. This is... You've got... Oh, this is terrible. This is absolutely terrible because you've got a keep that's blocking out both of the forests here. And he does move into mass spears. So at the moment on 17 spearmen. Second trebuchet on the way out as well. There it is, sitting at the moment on the Arcan, and he looks to try and defend. Looks to hold on a little bit longer. The English push. Very solid. An absolute masterclass we've witnessed so far, and looks like this outpost will be going down. On the next shot, Vills are going to get pulled. Keep in mind the keep going to be able to take it out, but you know what? Kalp says, I can't even bother. And the trebuchet just goes out. Vortex just relentless with these attacks, fellas. Make sure you go and check out Vortex. Make sure you go and check out Kalp. I'll leave links in the description to where you can go watch them live, and I'll catch you guys in the next one.